so let's start it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I will let you press start. Press start when you're ready.
Sounds good. So I guess maybe before we get started, then we should say something like, "Hello, everybody,"
Yeah.
and just a little bit of context. For right now, we got to have. Hey, what's going on, Micah? We are going to be talking about the 505 battle coming up on Swissbeatbox, hosted by the wonderful Clip server and everything. I was one of the wildcard judges. Remy is obviously one of the event coordinators, and we're going to be breaking down this top 8. Doing some analysis and whatnot, judging wise. We might move on to something else right after this, if we're seeing how we're feeling. Let's launch right into that 505 battle with the top 8.
So you didn't see the video yet, right?
I have not seen the wildcard winners announcement video, right? Because I know you put that together recently. I judged all the wildcards, so I obviously have some thoughts on them. But there were obviously 2 other judges as well, so we can compare. We can talk and compare about.
There was me, there was you, and there was Joshua and Tonker. So yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So let's. I have not seen this this announcement video yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be really cool. Let's do it. I love when people start off with that dotted quarter note rhythm, and then it suddenly becomes, right? Like when you start off with everything being dotted quarters like that, and it makes you think that it's one tempo, but then you start doing the drums, and that's right, it snaps into the other tempo because it was dotted. I love that.
I think that could be interesting. Also, when the one looper is done, saying, if you remember, where he was ranked for you and for me, so we can see the comparison.
Yeah, I'll pull up the judging sheets too. Remy, can you please hit X on the additional videos part on your screen? Because I think that's what we're seeing.
Yes, like this. Okay.
Cool. I'll also pull up the judging sheets while we're at it.
Mm-hmm. I think I remember by heart mine, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
So this is my style already.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
I wanna go here, I wanna go there. Bring the beat, hack, kick, and the snare. Looking for the trouble, nowhere to find it. Don't look anywhere, it's not behind it. I wanna go here, wanna go there. Bring the beat, hack, kick, and the snare. Looking for the trouble, nowhere to find it. Don't look anywhere, it's not behind it. I wanna go here, wanna go there.
What I love with Watt is that his voice is really full for his age. I think he's 17. He's pretty low.
Yeah.
I wanna go here, wanna go there. Bring the beat, hack, kick, and the snare.
Yeah, I also liked having the lyrics on the screen. That really helped his. Yeah, look at that, right? He masked out his lyrics behind his body.
Actually, it's very creative because he's saying nuts behind it.
Looking for the trouble, nowhere to find it. Don't look anywhere, it's not behind it.
That's awesome. That's good stuff.
Bring the beat, hack, kick, and the snare. Looking for the trouble, nowhere to find it. Don't look anywhere, it's not behind it. I wanna go here.
Right, we've also seen that the video format has been really cool. the KBB and everything has been pushing on the video as part of the performance. That's been really cool.
Maybe we can react to the semi-final afterward.
Ooh, let's do that. We can talk about Robin versus KBA.
Yeah.
With the fucking ice. Wanna go here, wanna go there. Bring the beat back again. Just looking for the trouble.
Like it's pretty minimalistic in terms of track effects, but that worked for me. Like,
yeah, it works. It works. It's got that kind of just minimal, like you said, minimalistic, but it's got the hip hop vibe, right? It's definitely, it's crispy. It slaps. You know, it hits well. Hey Micah, while you're at it, can you hear us clearly?
Don't look anywhere, it's not behind it. I wanna go here, wanna go there. Bring the beat back again to snare.
Just a quick little audio check before we get too far into it.
Don't look anywhere, it's not behind it.
let's pause it. Okay. Yeah. Really nice. Really nice wildcard. For me, it was 4th. I know it.
Yeah, I had him 7th.
I think it was.
Y'all are good.
Like,
Thanks, Micah.
That's the thing. Like most of the placement here are not based on our placements.
Yeah,
the
it's
score mostly.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the combined scores of those judges, and we'll talk more about the points versus the placement thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple things there. Who needs to be higher?
Like, yeah,
Like
I think you need to be higher,
who
but
needs to be louder.
So basically I can't do anything except like turning down the volume of the video, because you, Galush, and the video are on the same thing on my.
Gotcha.
So we'll just lower the volume a bit from the video, and that should be fine. But yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah, that's really refreshing. That's why he was 4th for me, because I think he was the only one doing hip hop in that competition mostly.
Exactly.
There was Zaru as well, but Watt was more finished product. Okay, that was less
gotcha. Watt needs to be higher in the top 8. I feel you. There's we got a lot of different scores to break down here. Yeah, so like for example, on my judging sheet, right? Watt did really well with musicality, right? Even though it was pretty simple musically, everything fit well. It was arranged very well. The sound design was, again, pretty simple, so he lost a couple points in the standing on that, right? But it was solid, you know. It was pretty creative. Just because it was pretty creative. It wasn't the highest creativity for me, just because like we've heard rounds like this before, despite them being a little bit less the common style right now. It would have been very original a couple more years ago, right?
Yes.
Like we've kind of gone away from that style, and now if we're coming back, like doing an older school style, it can feel original because of everything else around it being different. But we have heard rounds like this in the past. I did give him one of the highest performance scores because of his video editing was really solid, and his delivery was just really clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move up. Let's move right on to Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real proud of this kid. He's been really pushing it for the last year or two now. Very excited to see where he's going. And like again, like to see him grow. Like one of the things that's crazy about this community right now is getting younger and younger, right? And we're seeing more and more younger guys get involved with it. And obviously, like it's mostly guys, right? But we're seeing younger and younger guys get involved with it, and that's like a really exciting thing. Is like it's an investment in the future of live production. You know, like that's a really cool thing to see.
Also, yeah. I have something to say about Colin, is that he's the first one to have been taking part in every competition we have done, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I
very
saw that
active.
on the Discord, but like what I mean is that he entered every competition. Like he got in every competition. So that's impressive. I love that melody. First, that's robot, but the notes are already original. And I saw that it was said that it wasn't higher. The only thing is that when you look at the scores, like between first and 8, there is not that much difference. Like,
yeah, it was a very close top 8. I think he's also like he's been improving his beatbox basics. That has really helped him.
Yeah.
Like his kicks and snares are getting cleaner. Like they still need more work. Like right, but they're really clearly improving, and he should keep doing that.
Also, I think he take an advice I gave him to listen more the music he loves and try to get techniques out of that.
That's so real, yeah. Like don't just listen to looping. Like listen to other good music.
And in that track, I can hear that on the drop. It really sounds. We will see it, but it really sounds like old school dubstep vibe.
Yeah, kind of like the 2015 Pancakes drop a little bit.
Yeah.
He's also getting braver with his singing. That's a really important piece, right? Like his singing voice has always been like a point of concern for him. So he often uses stuff like the vocoder to help hide a less confident singing voice, but it's getting better. Like keep working on that singing voice too.
Kind of reminds me on the vibe of Sunlight that song. I can't remember the lyrics, but that song. Like sunlight or smile, something like this. For me, the only weak part of that wildcard was the structure. Sometimes there is some weird cuts. Like the bridge here is okay.
His grander delay is a little bit out of time. That's okay.
Yes. For me, that was not necessary in the structure, but
yeah,
kind of throw off a bit here, but
yeah,
like the drops are hidden.
This is also a newer routine of his, so it's clearly just like execution-wise, it's not as like fully crisp. Like so, he's sometimes a little bit slow to hit the buttons the way he needs to, because it is a newer routine for him. Like
honestly, if he keep going in that direction, he's gonna get a really powerful style.
Yeah, and a great little outro too.
Yes.
Oh, so what's going on, Colin? Good to see you. Really nice hi-hat tone on this one here. His house hi-hat, his upbeat hi-hat was a really nice hi-hat tone.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I also just love the circular camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin, go ahead and watch back.
I think it's fish eye cam.
Yeah.
Something like this. Yeah.
But again, like the actual video element of the performance like is a really important one. So having a cool fisheye camera that immediately sets you visually apart. It makes you more memorable. And then if the music can hold up to interesting visuals, right? You'll have a good spot.
By the way, you didn't say Colin was which rank for you? Yeah.
Oh, let's pause it. Let's pause it. Hold up.
Yeah.
Good reminder, right? So for me, Colin ranked 1, 2, 3. Colin ranked 4th for me.
Okay. Yeah, for me it was 8, and it was very close with Jaguars. It was like
Yeah.
0.5 difference. But I feel like if I remember, I think
like my top 8 were all within like 12 points of each other, right? So
Yeah.
it was very close.
For me, I think 8 to 5 are close, and then there is like a slight difference between to go into 4 to 1, but like then 4 to 1 is the same thing, really close.
What's going on, Johnny Pixel? Good to see you. Looking forward to seeing you in that upcoming project. But yeah, Colin's biggest difficulty for me was I think his where was it? Yeah, I mean he scored pretty high in all of the spaces. His like lowest one was in creativity, just because it was a track and a structure that I'd heard and seen before. Like rather like the structure, some of the sound design elements were like it was missing that one really standout like wow factor one particular moment, and there were a couple of things that just weren't perfectly clean execution wise, right? But it was still like a really, really solid track overall. So he scored pretty high in all the different categories, right? Like musically, his flow was pretty good, right? There were a couple of things that were just like a tiny bit out of time, like the granular delay. Like the last granular delay hit was just a little bit out of time. But I want to see him like move into something more groovy. I want to see him push out of that comfort zone of like really straight rhythms, of really simple harmonic structures. Like even though he has that really nice robot melody, right? The actual chords progression was just kind of like 1 flat 6 flat 7 1 on the like minor scale, like ba na 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 na, right? Like it. I wanted to see some more variety in his like in his chord choices, right? I want to see some not just straight rhythms. I want to see him get more groovy and more like because I think that's going to be the thing that like if he can keep all of the sound design push that he's got going, all of the electronic kind of hits to it, and just sprinkle in a couple little details that are like not quite so quantized, you know. Mm-hmm. Like it's one thing to like not be in time, like on the granular delay hits. Like if you're trying to go for that, where it has to be perfect, right? But if you go like right, so having like so you can still be quantum with the like whatever you're gonna do, like you can really have just a little bit extra groovy, swingy stuff, even within those quantized like dubstep style, like triplet kicks and everything. Mm-hmm. So I want to push on Colin to like get away from just straight up quantized rhythm, stuff like that. Like allow yourself the vulnerability of adding a little bit of swing to stuff, right? Like I think that's like the little bit that would push it over the edge, ranking wise.
Yeah, for me, we talked with Tonker, and we said that was top 1 material. The only for me big thing that made him only be 8 on my list, that was like between Jaguars and him, like from 0.5, but because like the sound design is quite clear. Like you said, like when there is the drop, that's the flow is great and everything. For me, that was just like sometimes it feels empty, like the singing on the beginning, maybe having the melody not completely out, but filtered, because that was completely out. Like the filter was completely on the left. Maybe that would have helped a bit.
I think that's the other thing, right? Is like having
parts that threw me off a bit. Like, I was that hype, and
Yeah.
I just
He-
go
he-
down really quick. But
there was a couple great moments, right?
grabbed me
But like,
afterward.
it didn't feel like the whole thing was building positively on the whole. Like, it felt like a very clear, like, here's a cool part, and then I'm setting up. Here's another cool part, you know. And I think that being able to have, again, like, more confidence on the arrangement of the song, right?
Yeah.
Like knowing what you're gonna do before you do it, and just being really tight with those. Like he's doing some silent recording, right? He's got a lot of like technically difficult stuff. So like that's really good and challenging and stuff. I think that the more he gets confident with stuff like his voice,
Yes.
excuse me, the more he gets confident with stuff like his voice, yeah, right, Colin. We're not looking for like
actually,
excuses or whatever, right?
No,
like,
but actually,
knowing it's late at night and everything.
that's great because that way you can see Colin like, or you can improve basically.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Tonker and I said that was top 1 material.
It was top 1 material.
Yeah,
it's just so close.
There was just some little things that made it rank, 7. But
let it grow that confidence
scores,
in your voice.
Yeah, if you look at the scores, you were not that far from the top 1. It was just those little points you didn't get because of that. That was just that.
Yeah.
Because
and Colin, yeah. I see you in the chat. I really appreciate you joining, first of all. And that's been a big challenge for me too, right? Because like I'm like a singer, like even outside of looping and stuff, right? But I see myself have a much harder time singing, right? Like when I'm so focused on like, oh crap, what's the next button I have to turn? Yeah. How do I get the effect right? Like it is so difficult to go from like building your track, being really in your head about the technical stuff, right? To get your track ready, like all the effects, and then having to like break out of that and sing and be like confident and like sing and remember like, oh yeah, I have a voice. I have to like perform like that. One of the hardest things for me too, right? Yeah. So like having maybe part of your song, like, in the beginning of Permanent Timeout, when I go from like finishing building the track to like, I do that filter thing and I wait for a second. And then I start singing, right? That is one of the things that helps me go from like, okay, I'm building the song, I'm in my head about that, I got to get the effects right, to, oh, I'll take a breath, I'll get ready, I'll feel more confident singing, and then I can sing, right? So like think about stuff like that in your tracks where you can actually give yourself a second to breathe before you start singing. That will help you more, be more confident singing wise. Yeah, Micah's got a great point in there, right? So like having a cutoff on the have some filter cutoff stuff. Let's keep it moving though. Let's get back into, because I don't want to.
Let's rewind just to get the full performance of Joggers.
Reverse.
It was around here, I think. Hold on. Yeah.
There we go.
So I think he was third for you, this guy, right? He was third, yes.
Yeah, Jaguars.
Yeah, for me it was 7. Mostly because of the mix and the performance, because he's not interacting that much.
Yeah.
But he could have been higher. Also, he only have 6 months of looping, and I talked with him a bit, and apparently he kind of started looping with us, so that was amazing. Like with Clip and Skellum and, It's a really creative way of using delay, creating melodies like this.
Okay.
And like the higher, like 1 to 10 millisecond settings, yeah.
And I love that underground vibe with the reverb kick. First,
the reverb on the kick. I was like, same.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, why are you putting reverb on your kick? But it actually works really well after the fact.
It's just that you lose a bit of lows and this transition after that. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I was not ready first time I heard it. I love that everything blends together well.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. It's not crazy bassy, but like the mix is still fine.
Yeah, the transpose.
Yeah, this part here was really neat.
Ah,
That's a really good bit of harmonic entry because even though the sound design isn't changing, running it through different chords is really good.
yeah, I really enjoyed this wildcard. He's only 7 because of the mix and the performance side, but yeah, I really love the vibe. Really got a lot of points in creativity and musicality for me.
Yeah, same. He was one of the higher ones in musicality and creativity for me too.
Oh, Kagami as well. Kagami was actually 5th for me, so that's funny.
Yeah, I did that exact same like delay bass with the reverb part. I did that exact technique in my collapse Loopstation cover video.
But actually, that's a cool sound choice for rhythm. So
yeah,
that's great that it chose that. And actually proud of Kagami because he was 36th or something like that, around that for clip champs.
Oh yeah.
And now
so he's shown some real growth. It's a really nice kick.
Yeah, for me it was the one with the highest score in mix with Anu.
Yeah.
Because the mix is like the lows, everything is
the siren singing voice with all the reverb. That's a sound design choice that I don't really like personally. And the singing wasn't very effective on that part. That's the main thing that's my main gripe with this particular track is the singing voice.
We'll see afterward, but yeah, the singing threw me off a bit as well. This transition into the drop was really clean.
We've seen that too, right? Where you show the drop first and then you add the drums in. I think Colin did that. Like he played like most of the first drop like background track and then brought the drums in most of the way through it.
What I love with Kagami, that was kind of the same in his clip Wildcard, but here it's more well done, if I can say that like this. He loved to play with the silence. You know, his track is not, there is not that much element, but that works well.
Right.
You can still have the vibe of it. I see in the chat that you have a pretty huge Japanese fan base.
Yeah, let's go. Japanese fam coming in huge. Great to see you.
Yeah.
I would love to try that. I wonder if there's a way to do captions.
That technique was really original.
Yeah, for real.
So like, I think, I'm not sure, but I think he recorded a vinyl flick, then reversed the track, and then re-recorded another vinyl flick. So it does that type of thing. I'm not sure, but I think. I want to pause because this guy.
Yeah, let's pause.
We need to pause for that guy.
Yeah, we'll talk about Leonard in a second, but Kagami was great. First of all, he was, even though he was only eighth for me, I really liked his creativity. He was one of the most creative ones in this competition, I thought.
Honestly, if you are in the top 8, no matter the rank, if you are in our top 8, that means you deserve to be in our opinion. Like, don't care about the rank because that was really close in terms of points.
Oh yeah, it was so close in terms of points, right? Kagami did a great job. Again, like the big parts for me that were holding him back was the musicality, right?
Yeah.
And when I say musicality, I'm taking into account stuff like the flow, the structure, right? There were some really good structure choices, like showing most of the drop and then bringing the drums in. Like really original sound design. I think Kagami had one of the highest sound design points for me.
Yeah, for me too.
Yeah,
he was at 18 or something out of 20.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I like he lost like 1 or 2 points for me in musicality and sound design because of that. Like that particular piece, it just didn't work for me. The thing is that it didn't have a lot of dynamics, right? It was the same volume the whole way through, and it didn't really change over the course of the song, right? Like it was very much like that, like the singing part was very much like the verse and then the drops for the chorus, right? Like the singing part didn't change during the song. I wanted there to be more changes in volume, like
I feel
like you could still definitely like even with the same melody, right? You can still change the volume. You can have it like you can bring in more like musical depth to that, even with the same melody. And I just wanted to see it like develop more. It just felt like it was one piece and it didn't change. So that was like the biggest part for me that kept Kagami at only 8th, right? But it was still really, really good.
Now Leonard. Leonard. Oh my god.
And here comes Leonard.
He was first for you, right?
Leonard was first for me. Yeah, I was very impressed.
And he was third for me, really close to Anu.
Yeah. So let's jump into Leonard.
Yeah. First of all, the video, very clean. Nothing to say.
Oh yeah. It was a great little addition to have it on the drum set. Like that's really cool. Really good videography.
That ring mod drums kind of remind me of you. So I was like,
oh. Yeah, so funny enough, I have a couple tracks with ring mod on my drums, and I have a new one coming out very soon.
And when I heard that, like because you know, I heard every wildcard before you guys because I needed like to check them.
Yep.
And the thing is like, that I skipped the first drop the first time I hear it because when I verify your wildcard, I just jump through it to see there is no cheating or anything. So when I actually hear it for the first time, we will talk about the first drop after. But when I heard the ring mod drums, at first I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, because I showed you one of my tracks that I've been working on for a while, but haven't played or haven't put out. So hint everyone, I've got some new music coming out very soon. So I've got some ring mod on my drums for a couple tracks that I showed you those over the summer, like before I was recording my online world beatbox championship wildcard, like the stupid deep, that one from a couple months ago. I'd been working on a new track for that competition. And that was like one of the things is I've been working on that track for like a month and I wasn't liking it. Like I didn't like where it was. But recently I went back to it and practiced some new stuff, and I really like it now. I had a bit of a breakthrough with it. So hopefully, like it sounds very different from the one that I showed you over the summer, but it does still have some. It does still really nice. I think there's some pretty good ring mod stuff that I wanted to explore with that.
Senek saying ring mod percussion are the best for sure. you know.
Yeah.
He's using that a lot as well. So.
Remy, do you have any idea how to add subtitles to our stream? Because I want to make sure that my Japanese followers over here, which again, big love to the Japanese fan coming up in the chat, right? For
on the
Kagami.
stream, you can't. They can activate like an automatic traduction, which is not great. But you can create some translation on a video. Like if you want,
when I post this after the fact, right? So even if I were to edit it down a little bit, I'll post some subtitles and stuff like that, so people can translate and see what they're see what we're saying.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks so much, guys. The chat is blowing up. I really appreciate that. There will be a lot more of these kinds of streams in the future. And like I said, I have new music coming out. So while we're here talking about it, right, follow on Instagram, all that stuff, because we're just we're artists trying to do our thing, right? Rhyme over here too, right? Good stuff.
Yeah, you have new stuff coming.
Yeah, Remy showed me a little preview. I'm so excited.
Yeah, but you will see in the 5v5. So send a wildcard for the 5v5 if you want to be in my team. Hurry.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're going to be surprised. I have some surprises.
Exactly. There's some really good new stuff coming out with this 5v5 stuff.
5v5, yeah. It's
let's get back. Let's yeah, we have the only 505 and we have the 5v5. Let's get back to Leonard.
Yeah. Pretty groovy already,
That's what I'm saying. It's groovy.
Also, 10 out of 10 performance for me. Is the one.
Oh yeah, same.
I think for everyone he got 10.
I think his vocal mix was the only thing holding him back.
Jesus Christ. Oh, Brez in the chat. Yo, what's up? Oh, that's so sick. What do you mean? I think that's Get Out bass, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Brez. That's for the only 505 coming up. And this guy is a newcomer.
Damn, too much booty in your
Jesus
pants.
Christ.
Damn, too much booty in your pants.
Is so much swag and energy.
Yeah, exactly, like the swag, the presence.
The first drop was the best, I think.
Damn, too much booty in your pants. Damn, too much booty in your pants.
It was just the vocal mix. It wasn't very clear. I do love some good flanger,
And everything he's doing in his performance have sense. Like,
yeah, all the pieces lock in really well. Like, every piece there has a good reason for being there.
Damn, too much booty in your pants. Damn, too much booty in your pants.
yeah. We just paused.
Very nice.
Can we talk about that first drop?
Yeah, right? It's not often that you see, first of all, just like a chromatic walk down. Like, it's just going like down by half steps. Like it doesn't have like a real chord progression. It's not like harmonically. It's not like it doesn't fit with a lot of like the usual like chord progression stuff. But because it has a lot of that great like swag to it, it does hit different.
Yes.
And sound design wise, it was really, really solid, right? Because you heard it get set up with like the higher pitch, and then when it drops down to the bass, it's really satisfying.
Someone is asking, is this his first wildcard? Yeah, it is his first wildcard from Leonard. This is the first wildcard from Leonard, and I think this is his first ever routine as well. I saw on his Instagram he has done a lot of covers of Sarro and Brez and other looping artists, And I think that's his first ever routine recorded for YouTube. So yeah, that's really impressive. Really
Yeah,
impressive.
right. So having only, you know, if this is in fact his first original piece, and that's a really good sign. And again, like, I'd be really interested to see how this how he would do live. I think one of the crazy things is that there are a lot of performers who do really well with videos. Like I probably would put myself in that category. Like I probably have more luck with stuff like wildcards than with performing live. I mean, which is why I've been pushing myself to do a lot of live shows recently, which I've been able to do. I've had like 15 something concerts in the last couple months, just like, you know, venues around the U.S. Like in like New York City and Boston, like near where I live. But like one of the weaknesses I know I have is being really consistently confident and performing well live. So I've been trying to push really hard to do that. But this guy gives me the sense that a live show would be a really fun thing to go watch. Like some of that stage presence type stuff is a really important thing to cultivate. And for some people, it's just really easy to be that confident, you know, with that much booty in your pants.
I think it's because I just, you know, by curiosity, watched the other content on his channel, and he's doing magic tricks. So, you know, he kind of have this performance side.
He's a performer.
Already.
Yeah. Like that really helps sell it, right? I think like if he didn't seem so confident, the drop wouldn't have worked so well, right? Like, because just by the sound of it, it would not have gone as well. It's still sick, right? But the fact that he sells it so well by like performing it with the drop is what really sells it for me.
Actually, like now we have the first quarterfinal battle that will be Kagami versus Leonard, and I'm really looking forward to that because two different style. You have Leonard with the groovy type of style, and Kagami with the creepy rhythm type of thing. You know, he has a really creepy style, kind of, with creepy chords and stuff. So that's gonna be a interesting contrast of style.
And they both have really original and unique sound design, so it'll be really cool. Like it would be a battle of originality.
Yep.
Yeah, let's keep it moving.
Yeah. I'll let you press start, so yeah, we don't have confusion.
Good stuff from Skellum.
Yeah. For me, it was my first sit.
Yeah, he was sixth for me.
Yeah. For me, he's first mostly because his style is now already set up. Like when I hear him, even when I close my eyes, I can tell that's Skellum by the way he's building up his tracks and everything. Also because he's not losing time. You know, his structure is really fast.
Yeah, that's really important. He's really efficient. He makes this up very quickly. He was really only sixth for me because of the originality. I've heard plenty of tracks like this before. And even though it's a really, really good one, this style is so common right now. So it was harder for me to like make it stand out, right? Like he has this really great like tremolo on the chords later on that works really well. But just some of the originality pieces to it were like I was missing some extra originality.
Yeah, I think if he expand his sound bank with
that could be it too, right?
Yeah, new sound designs, he can be really top level because he already build up really fast, and then he's already on the build-up for the drop. So.
This is a really good use of the vocoder too. He also has something up with his eyes. I guess like he has this crazy two-color eyes thing. I don't know if that's just like a natural part of the dude's face, but I know sometimes people can wear. He can wear. Yeah, it's a really good break too. Right? I love that the bass comes in on beat too. Listen for that.
Yeah.
You and I, they ain't doing it like you and
Right? But, right? It just lands on 2. It's really nice.
And recording the vocoder. You know, like it's always adding little details to his piece. It's not always the same thing.
Yep.
Like small bridge.
And with a higher energy piece like this, it's okay that it's not groovy or you know,
And then
it's very straight rhythmically, but it works pretty well.
no, he really knows how to make breaks.
I love that pattern. I love that that splicer pattern.
You know, and he really know how to like do like a cut that will be effective. You know, he cuts and then bring you in right after.
Yep. It's really, really clean. It's very well executed.
It's the only world cut of the that was a bit too long.
Yeah, that was the only negative part, was that one break there.
Yeah. That's why having a mic stand sometimes is good.
Yeah, I mean, I perform with a mic stand. I need that. Great variation with the transpose and stuff.
Yeah, very solid.
Yes.
I know.
I thought Anu's mix was pretty bad. I remember I remember not liking at all the bass on his drop. His structure's great.
Okay.
His video really stands out. I haven't watched it since I originally judged it, but I remember his bass was really muddy, at least when I first listened to it. Like, I feel like it didn't work for me. But again, that could also be that could have also been personal preference.
For me, it was top 2, and I think
Because Anu didn't rank for me.
Yeah, and he was top 1, Joshua and Bunker, I think.
Yeah, I think Anu was like maybe like 9 or 10 for me.
Like, for me, the mix was one of the best here. Like, you can hear every sound perfectly. The snare, the hi-hats.
I think it was his kick that I really didn't like. It was a very long kick.
The kick was not that good. Kagami's kick was better.
Yeah, Kagami's kick was great.
And yeah, like someone is saying, everyone hears sound differently as well, and that's why we have 4 or 5 judges for wildcards, so we have a good contrast, and that's what making the final top 8 as well. And for me, it's just the build-up that is a bit too long here, compared to Skelem that taking the right amount of time. That's the only difference.
Yeah, it's a long ass kick. It just it gets in the way of his bass.
But the groove is so clean. Like, it's a really good techno sound.
Like, yeah, like for sure. It's got really good flow. It's got really good sound design. I think also the vocal mix was not hitting for me. Like the voice was not cleared.
Transpose is really hard to
Make
like the
clean.
transpose from the 505 is really hard to mix.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm using it as well on some tracks and it's very hard to mix.
Yep. That second drop went really well. Yeah. It's because of like the kind of gargly effect. Yeah.
During that.
It helps the bass cut through the long kick.
I still think that's Anu's best track for now. Like his Loopstation's wildcard was good, but this one is really hits.
Yeah. A little bit weird on the ending too. The like the bow at the end. So let's talk about Mark, right? Because Mark is a crazy example of like the points versus the rankings.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, I will release the shits later today. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, the judging sheets, right?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Dom to make like the second announcement with the brackets and the runner-ups, and then I will share the shits anyway. But
sounds good.
Just so you guys know, Mark didn't rank first in any top, but he got first because of the points. So that's
so none of the judges ranked Mark first, but he was high enough for all of us in points that he got first because of points, which is crazy because it's one of those things where like every one of the judges could agree that Mark was so good. Right, but he wasn't one for any of us, right?
Yeah, but because he was consistent on every judges.
Yep.
Because you know, like Skelem was a bit all over the place. He was first for me, but he was 6 or 7 for you. You know, that was a bit all over the place. But Mark was very consistent.
Mark was consistently one of the best.
Yeah, for me, he was only 5, but he was really close with Watt for 4th and 5. For you, he was second and really close behind Leonard. And I think he
was like 1 point behind Leonard or something like that.
Or something like that. He was maybe 4th or 3rd for Tonker and Joshua. So you know that was very consistent.
Let's talk about the K-pop, not the K-pop, like the I don't even want to like screw myself up by saying which genre it is, but the Asian something or other popular style of music that has like been an amazing influence on the musicality, right? Like the development of really nice chord structures, right? That like go more than just 4 bars, you know. I did speak with Mark after judging. Excuse me. Actually, I spoke with Mark during my judging part because I wanted to make sure that I knew that if this was a cover or not. It is a cover of a song. He sent me what the original influence was. But just still judging it on its own merits, right? I did look up what the lyrics were, or not the lyrics were. He has subtitles on his lyrics. There's a really great little translation thing. Because again, knowing that all the judges speak English, like if he didn't translate those lyrics, it might not have worked as well, right? Because they're a really wonderfully creative and personal. Like even if it's a cover of the lyrics, right? The choice to cover that song was a really good one. Because the lyrics are really meaningful, right?
And he really created the vibe around it that works as well.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he is the higher score in terms of originality for me.
Yeah, he had the highest score in his originality.
Like he was not having the highest score in other categories. That's why he's top 5. But in creativity, he was the highest one. So that's why I was saying the rank is not important. Is the
and don't forget, right? Like, and don't forget, like we weigh creativity the most out of any of the categories, right? So performance is out of 10 points, sound design is out of 20 points, also, musicality is out of 30 points, and creativity is out of 40 points. So the most important thing to be is creative and original.
I just want to answer someone in the chat. Someone said that's so bizarre. LMAO means some people first pick must have not gotten in. That's not it. It's just that if someone is first in someone's list, that means he needs to be in. But that what we said is that Mark ranked first at least, even if he was not first in every top, because he was more consistent in terms of judging compared to Skylem that ranked, for example, 6 in Galush, and he ranked first for me. That was 2 completely different ranks. In terms of points, that was not the same points. Where when you watch Mark's scores for every person, it's kind of like something consistent, so that drives him in to the first place.
Right.
In a way.
Everyone who ranked first for everyone got in. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Right? Because Leonard was first for me. Anu was first for other people. He got in.
And Skylem was first for me, and he was third. So. Yeah.
So everyone who ranked first did get in.
Yeah.
But Mark was so consistently high on the list that he became first collectively, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of like by the way the points worked out. So let's check out Mark.
Yeah. And actually,
again,
I was first at least because that's the most original one so far. If we look at it, like really peaceful vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it's got this. He has this really nice like canon in D minor kind of chord progression, right? Ba da ba da. Ba ba da ba da ba da 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 ba da da ba da da ba da da ba da 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 da. Right, it's like that classical music chord progression. Right. And simple but really nice clean drums. They could have been mixed a little bit higher in the mix, I think. The drums could have slapped a little bit more, right? But they were simple and effective, and the granular was really nicely mixed. The granulars were a really good mix on that. And the slicer works really well here too because it's such a straight rhythm. And don't forget, like he's having to sing it. He's having to sing this in really clearly, right? Like the slicer helps with the rhythm, but he still has to be mixing his voice accurately. He has to be able to sing each part at the same volume, or like mix that with his voice into the microphone. And he's right on pitch, really solid. This is the kind of filter piece we were talking about Colin earlier, right? If he had filtered out the same way Mark is doing, his voice would have worked well.
It
would have felt more full.
Empty.
Exactly. But dude, that granular is so nicely mixed. It's perfectly in time too. Oh. It just flows so well. Every piece is exactly where it needs to be, and he brings them in at the right time.
I'm very happy he's first, at least.
Yeah.
That's well deserved. And that's what I say when you look the scores. Skylem is 330, Anu is 331, and Mark is 333, so that was really, really close.
Oh yeah.
Like every of those three guys would have deserved top 1 as well. Right?
Oh yeah.
But Mark was more consistent. And that's why.
Yeah. The one thing I want to hear from Mark is it's a little bit more on the lead singing voice. Like, I want to see him go into a bigger vocal place. Right?
Actually, all the battles gonna be really interesting. That's with that ranking. Like Watt versus Mark, two contrasts of style. Colin and Hanu as well, two contrasts of style. And Scalim versus Jaguars, two Spanish guys with, contrast of style as well. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. And then your outro.
Nice. Love the visuals on the outro. So that that last piece there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find some audio from this one song that I know. I don't know if Mark has even heard this song before, but the flanger or phaser or whatever was a thing that he was doing and panning delay on the end of his track. It reminds me a lot of this one song. I'm gonna make sure that I don't like play too much of it and get like copyright strikes and stuff. I just gotta find the part in the song where it is.
So what do you want to do next? KBB?
Yeah, do you want to set up the KBB thing? We talk about Robin and KBA.
Yeah.
Can you hear my audio? Can you hear my song playing?
No.
No, good. I'll find that part in the song and then we'll play that for just a second.
I will just turn off the capture for now, so I can do the research. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the battle because the bracket's gonna be out today on the Instagram, and even the semi is gonna be gonna be a very interesting battle, and there is a lot of underdogs as well, so it's gonna be interesting to have them on Swissbeatbox having visibility for themselves, so they can have more fans listening to their music.
Yeah, exactly. Again, yeah, so like all these wonderful fans who are showing up in the chat, right? All some of y'all.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely get ready. Check out the Micah put in a great point here, right? Ranking really just comes down to how you're judged by one video, not your ability to win. I think that the that's a really good point, right? Is having the is remembering that the video is just a video, and then the actual competition battle stuff, it's a whole different set of skills, it's a whole different set of like performance stuff, right? Like the rules for what makes a good wild card are pretty different than the whether or not you're going to win in a battle. I think that's very real, right? So thanks, Micah, for saying so. Yeah, let's get into the KBB stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Press play so I don't touch anything.
Welcome to the first semi-final of the SBX Kickback Battle 20.
Because I have some thoughts about this one.
Exclusive prototype of the Boss RC505 Mark II. Today we have Robin versus KBA.
All right, I'm gonna keep aside for just a second. So because I have some thoughts on this one real quick, right? Kill that ad. So I've got some thoughts here about, first of all, Robin's amazing face at the beginning. But this battle is going to be, again, like a really crazy one. Probably closer than Frosty versus Robin. Like, well, I've heard a lot of people say that. I don't know if I totally agree yet. But I saw that you were on Behind the Beats recently. I was also on Behind the Beats recently. Shout out to the Swissbeatbox podcast, getting the Clip Gang on there.
Yeah.
Much love to the Swissbeatbox. It was awesome to catch up with Scott. I hadn't spoken with him in a minute.
I just want to speak about something because I talked about that with PSN in DM.
Yeah.
Why people are thinking I'm looking like PSN? I'm not looking like him
Yeah,
at
you
all.
look at all like PSN.
Like,
what do you mean?
They are saying the thumbnail is PSN again. I'm
Yeah.
not looking like PSN. What do you mean? I don't understand. But okay, fair enough.
Yeah, for real.
But okay.
But yeah, so this battle I think is going to be another one. I kind of said this a little bit on Behind the Beat, but this is going to be another battle that can really be decided based on your like philosophy about what looping even means, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that Brez had a great point earlier. Shout out to Brez being in the chat. I don't know if he's still here, but at the earliest he was here earlier.
I think he's not here.
He probably had to head out. But Brez made a great point in his video about how he was glad to see that KBA didn't silent record his drums in his second track, right? And we'll talk about that in a second, right? But I think that this battle is going to be another one that is really deeply connected to our philosophy of looping and what it means to be a loop station performer and not just like a producer, right? Because I've talked with KB quite a bit, right? Like he wants to sound like a producer. He wants to sound like it's just a sick track, and everything kind of comes from like this really sick like second device with the SY, right? He wants to sound like a producer, right? And that goes into his strategy for how he approaches battles, right? Like he battles people that are really vocal or are really like laid back and chill, or like have a different sound design than him, and he will really like lean into his producer abilities, right? Robin, on the other hand, his rounds, they all feel very much like looping. Like they're all very clearly like live looping. You can hear every part going in. You can like it shows a different philosophy about what it means to perform as a looper, right? Like being able to, and this wasn't like why I started looping, was because I loved how you could see the creative process. You could see every detail get put in. You could see every aspect to the performance. And like part of the performance is creating stuff and then letting it layer up and letting it build.
Exactly.
So you see all the parts to it, and it that's, I think, like what the old style of thinking about looping is. Like now we're seeing a lot of people like go crazy with the MIDI controllers and with the additional devices and stuff. And it's not just because of the devices. I think the second devices have allowed us to go deeper into that production side of things, right? But there are some people who are using second devices and still having, I mean, like obviously like the Mark II is a second device of sorts. It's the but you know, Robin just using the S2, or sorry, Robin just using the Mark II. It doesn't feel like he's less capable because he doesn't have the second devices, but I feel like he is in fact showing off more. Like he's showing off a very different mentality behind looping than what I think has become very popular. I think the very popular way of looping right now is like the M-Age or the KBA style, right? Where like you're creating a whole thing on the spot and it doesn't feel like it's the voice, right? I feel like Josho and Robin are two people that are in the KBB right now that are really, really pushing on that older philosophy of looping. Like we're going to see every part and it's going to be layered up and built. And part of the way of performing, part of the energy of the show is seeing it build up the whole time and like grow over the course of the performance, not just like have these sick drops and moments and stuff that sound like it's being produced.
That's why I never do silent record as well, because I really love people to, because my goal of looping, like I'm just having fun on battles, to be honest. But my main goal as a musician is to play in front of an audience that is maybe not beatbox. So if they hear every layer,
dude, I like I said earlier, right? I've done a bunch of live shows recently, and people love being able to see every layer get built in, right? Like I had
even if you use the MIDI controller,
a live,
so you know, secret revealed in 3, 2, 1. It's really good, the MIDI controller, but you know,
Cannot
if you
wait to
record
show
it
that
on the spot, people can see what's happening.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna play the video in a second. So I don't want to lose all our viewers who are just here to watch the show. But like one of the like coolest things was I had a live show last Thursday, and it went really, really well. And I could see some people in the front row that like got like their minds were getting blown when they saw me like layer in a couple different like vocal layers. They're like, oh, that's so sick. They could like see the layers, so they could see the details. Like it felt more like I could connect with the audience better when they can hear every aspect getting put together. But let's hit play on Robin's first round because this one's so cool. Like I was like not sure about it when it first started, but the longer it went on, the more I liked it. Let me turn the volume back on, lol.
So I'm listening a lot to a musician group called Caravan Palace.
Oh, Caravan Palace? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them in concerts because they are French, so I saw them in concerts back in the days. And that one reminds me a lot.
shaker.
Reminds me a lot of that type of style.
Yeah.
Really old school jazz vibe with vocal distortion on the voice, speaking to you kind of like in a slam way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of remind me of that.
So Kyle, Kyol in the chat, right? Why buy a loop device and make it not sound like a loop when you can just buy a DJ set and pre-record stuff? I mean, hey, like that's part of it, right? Like you can get a much bigger and more engaged audience if you're just being a producer and you get picked up by a record label.
That's why my new setup.
Why shoot yourself in the foot like that?
That's why my new setup and you're having a Korg, like it's kind of kind of the same setup. So like I'm kind of giving kind of the secret what I have, but it's because with that setup I feel like I have more possibilities, but I'm not letting the machine doing everything for me. I need to
don't let the machine do everything for you. Yeah,
I just have new effects on my voice, but I still need to record it on tempo.
You can connect with your audience better that way. But these shakers, the one thing I don't like about this round are these shakers on Robin's piece here. The right, those ones. I don't know if that's with a slicer or something, but they're too loud. I don't like them.
Yeah, maybe a like this. Oh, could that be better?
It's the KBB. There is no place for you and me.
And his voice is not perfect, right? Like it's very just part of the show, though. It works so well that his voice isn't very good.
This is very creative.
Yeah, and this is actually the same rhythm as one of the West African drumming bell patterns that I taught in my high school class. Right? That that's a very traditional rhythm from West Africa that shows up in a lot of the hand drumming styles. So it's really cool to hear that particular one come in.
Sounds like the big trumpets.
Yeah. Like I can imagine like a funk group with a tuba instead of a bass guitar. And then the goofy dancing that he does. No KBA!
For me, the only problem with that round is that it's too much repetitive. There, it started getting like higher, but before it was a bit too much repetitive for me.
White KBA, I'm not done with you.
And that part is for me like
I'm gonna finish you
a good
with
way.
a Danish technique.
Yeah, to add battle energy by doing
This part adds a lot of battle energy.
by bringing Torsten's technique from GBB 2016.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, let's go.
Yeah, because KVA is not about to do a solo beatbox thing back. Like that's not a counter he's gonna do. Those are pretty sick lip rolls. Like they're very accurate. They're right on pitch.
Nice.
I don't know if that's just a thing in the new Loopstation, but being able to change the pitch on the chord that he made in that one bank, it must be a a feature on the Mark II, but being able to change the pitch of those chords each time he like goes up and down with the fader. Maybe it's a fader thing, maybe it's automation thing, maybe it's like a science kind of thing. But that's a really cool piece too. I'm very much looking forward to exploring that on that device.
Yeah.
KBA switch.
Oh, I wish I hadn't been spoiled for this sick counter.
It's terrible.
But we'd been texting with Casper.
Yeah.
Like as he was like deciding and figuring out his round here. Starting off with the silent records, all right, especially because like he has this other beginning part of the video with like
also,
the
what I
toppings
like
mixed
with
water.
with KBA is that he's doing this when he's silent recording, and that adds to the performance. Like that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, like it definitely gets you hyped. Like, oh, dude, what did he just record? We're gonna find out later.
This is also a good way to be like, no, it's not a lag. It's KBA doing silent record.
Yeah.
That sound.
Take you to a different dimension.
That reverse reverb thing on the new thing is sick. It's a sick new sound design.
I really want to
And
explore
yeah, same. The different dimension timbre on that little vocal lick is so good.
Kind of remind me of Nanobi as well.
Yeah.
Like he's inspired by the artist Dimension or that track, but
Yep.
it kind of reminds me of Nanobi as well. He loves doing phone vox type of things like this.
Right. So Kyle in the chat, right? I love seeing that you're hearing it with like the philosophy as a big part in the judging.
Like with the bells, the creepy bells in the background.
Yeah, it does have like a Hell's Bells by AC/DC kind of vibe. Hell's Bells. KBA has done some like really rock-inspired musical choices, even though it's entirely electronic sound design. I would love to see what he could do like with a rock group. Because that's the thing too, right? Like, don't forget, the SY was originally made for lead guitar players. Like, it was marketed as a guitar stomp box, right? Like, it's made for guitarists. And like, if you watch like the trailer for when that device came out, you can see that like it was made for guitar players. Like, it's not really surprising to me that a lot of his musical choices, like a lot of his like chords and stuff, are coming from, or rather, like would work really well in a like rock and roll context. It has similar like drum patterns for rock and roll stuff too. It's just like really interesting to see a lot of those same musical elements you'd expect in rock music, but in the electronic style, sound design wise.
We just break the game with the second devices.
Yeah, it breaks the game for sure.
We are doing producing with guitar pedal.
Yeah.
The only exception is TC Helicon, because TC Helicon is made for the voice.
You see, he screwed up just there. He messed up. His round wasn't perfect. He screwed up. Watch that. He's trying to silent record something and he screws up. He has to start over again.
Okay.
Not to totally expose him, but like his execution on this one, you'll see he starts silent recording something and then he has to delete the track and start again. It's like, whoops, undo. There we go. You gotta watch closely.
Call me Batman, you are second to me. With that kind of mix, it is time to leave. Call me Batman, you are second to me. With that kind of mix, it's time for you to leave.
Batman.
And I will talk a bit more about that round after, like we will pause it, but
Yeah.
the overall round of KBA, the first one is better
It's really
than
solid.
we thought. Because the context is very interesting.
Take you to a different dimension.
You know, like
And that's time. Round 3.
like you know, by saying I drive you to a different dimension, you know, the comics are kind of like a different dimension, so you know,
Yeah.
it fits
You
well.
bring you right into the DC
Yeah.
comic universe. That does fit really well. That's a great point. I hadn't
Yeah.
thought about that. Yeah. I mean, when we were texting about his Batman counter, we talked about how Tioneb did the same thing. Like you're the Robin, I'm the effing Batman. You know, he has Tioneb already did a like Batman Robin comparison counter in a rap verse, but KBA took it to the next level by doing the actual Batman theme song.
And that was well done. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think
Very
that's really
accurate.
interesting, right? Like, yeah, it was really, really well done. But obviously, like, there's a lot of throwbacks to like the 2017, 2018 GBBs, right? Like, 'cause I think that was like the last time Robin was in GBB, right? It was 2017. But it's kind of interesting that like all of KBA's counters really have a lot of grounding in that like 2017 Robin, which is very different than 2021 Robin. It's like I think like, that's why some of those counters don't work as well for me, is because they're kind of going after like an older version of Robin that's like easier to make fun of. Because like right now, Robin's like really, really musically mature. He's like absolutely killing it on the originality. Like there's no other loopers like him, right? And he's taking us to different dimensions, like with his second round versus Frosty being just an awesome like interstellar theme kind of energy, right? I think that the reason some of KBA's battle moves don't hit as hard for me is because they're based on like 2017 Robin.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. But
Or at least you know, that's kind of like they don't work as like obviously like they're still sick, right? Like some of them are pretty funny, like they're still pretty sick. I just don't know if they are as good as they could be because they're kind of older references. You know, like it is great sometimes to like bring back an old thing and use it like that pretty well. I just don't know if it works as well as it could for me.
okay.
You know, like it's still a really creative idea and a good battle
Honestly,
move.
For me, the first round is 50-50 because both of them are bringing a different style. I think, yeah, Robin is more original on the ideas. But for me, that's really close because they are both doing battle moves. We have Robin with all the disses in his lyrics, plus the Dawson part. And there is KBA with the Batman.
They're pretty 50-50 right now on the battle
When
moves
he's
and stuff.
drinking and he's saying, "Oh, that's so bad."
Yeah.
And the contrast of Mr. Steels was really delicious. So, you know,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's 50-50 for the first round.
Yeah, it's really, really close. Let's see second rounds.
Robin. Switch.
Great run, KBA. Love you, bro.
He's in a freaking river. What is next? This dude is not, like, he can't keep topping himself. It's absurd.
Honestly, when I saw that round, I was most worried for him because that's very dangerous with all those cables.
Yeah, I thought like he's gonna drop his loop in there and it's gonna be broken.
And then, yeah, he can't part anymore.
Yeah. The different chord progressions here are really, really important because it does counter KBA's different chord progressions, and like the really repetitiveness of Robin's first round. It's a good thing that he has a lot of different vibes. He has a lot of different chord progressions in his second round that helps like bring the variation. And these drums are more complex than anything KBA has done, drum pattern-wise. So like that's a pretty solid plus for Robin right now. I don't know about the mix, but the actual rhythms, they're more complex and just they hit better for me than any of KBA's drums ever have.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not the one you think I am.
Oh, the reverse reverb.
Reverse reverb and going back and forth between the panning delay and the reverse reverb is sick. It gives us a really good bunch of different vocal parts.
Like I know most people's gonna focus on the oscillator butt and those effects, but myself personally, I'm gonna focus on the harmony, reverse reverb, and those effects.
Oh yeah.
They seem so nice.
Also, Robin's voice it is so much more of an effective lead thing than KBA's lead voice. And the polymeter on the whistles there, right? Listen for how the whistles are all grouped in threes. One 1 2 3 1 like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So they are feeling like they might be a little bit weird or like weirdly placed, but they're lining up with the 4 in the main harmony really well. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3.
The only thing is that this part he already done it in his elimination, like the same chord.
Yeah.
But that's still tight, so that's okay. But I just figured that out. Start listening.
Yeah, in his elimination.
Yeah.
Yo, did you hear how the only time he is not perfectly on pitch is when he's saying the word imperfection at the end of his lyrics?
No, I didn't realize.
Like, yeah, no, that has to be on purpose, right? Like the only time his singing is wrong is when he says, "I want to spread imperfection."
If that's not voluntary, that's crazy. And that effect on the voice as well.
Right? All I want to spread is imperfection. Like that. He's like wrong on imperfection.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy.
And that's time. Round 4, KBA. Switch.
Yeah, love it. Love out to the chat here. Hold up.
Just.
Next he'll play while skydiving. Right? But yeah, nah, dude, that
on this frame, I was like, when I saw the introduction and the light into the clouds.
Yep.
I was like, if you would have put like a bat, like Batman, that would have been even.
Yo, the
crazier.
bat signal. Yay!
I was like, oh my god.
Photoshop in the bat signal. That would be so funny.
Or on the light, just put like a filter and then get rid of it when it gets on KBA. It would have been so funny.
That'd been great. So Robin's second round did not have as many battle moves. But KBA's second round is like basically all battle moves. They're all like disses and stuff.
Okay, Robin, for you, I got a special
That's actually really sick.
Oh, well,
This is so good. I mean, like, I gotta say, right? The fact that KBA picks up stuff is so fast. Like, it really speaks to his. He's so talented. He picks up stuff so quickly. Like, he turned this around so fast. It would have taken me a month to get good at that and perform it live.
Cause this is your elimination from the KB 2021 Overwhelming. Cause this is your elimination from the KB 2021 Overwhelming. Cause this is your elimination.
And obviously the drop is sick, so like, what are you gonna do?
Honestly, if Robin needs to be taken out, I think this is the way. If he don't lose against KBA, I don't know how he can get out.
Yeah, frankly, I don't think if he doesn't lose to KBA, I don't think he's gonna lose to anybody.
Yeah, because that's the perfect way to get him out.
Like, if anything is gonna take out Robin from this competition, it'll be this round.
Yeah.
I mean, it very well could have been Frosty's second round, but the back-to-back like big disses in KBA's battle stuff here, I don't know. Like musically, like this round, it doesn't feel as complete because it's got two very different sections. It has kind of like the first song and the second song with like just one or two elements holding them together. It feels very much like this is like specifically designed to attack Robin, as opposed to like perform a song the way that Robin did.
I hope you enjoyed this remix of your track.
KBA's voice here doesn't work as well as Robin's did, obviously.
Like my way of seeing it is that it's not as powerful, but the emotion is there still in KBA's voice.
Yep. The emotion's coming from KBA's drop, not from his voice, though.
And the pitch on the reverse.
Yep. That was a little pitchy. Yes, Mako. With a line in the chat. That was also just a weird ending. Like, it didn't seem like it was on purpose, the way that he ended the track. Really great video too, though, right?
But even if the singing is not great, he got that in 6 hours because when you record the video, it's only 1 day after. So
no, I know, like, and that he is so talented, and it's incredible how he's able to flip stuff so quickly. But I mean, like, how did how KB ended the track here? I don't think it was on purpose, right? Like
Time.
it didn't seem like he like I feel like he meant to like cut it off the whole way there, but then the filter like kept coming back up, and he was like, "Oh crap, gotta turn it off." It just didn't seem to like fit the way he meant.
I think
for
it was on purpose. You know, in some DG set, it's something turn off and then going back, kind of like, you know, kind of like a thing like this. It's not the first time
maybe.
I heard that, so I think it was on
I
purpose.
mean, I did do the same thing at the end of my online champs wildcard.
There is only one thing I want to say. They are imposters, right? Because we are the Lions. We were in the final of the Lion Beatbox Battle.
Hey, yeah, that's so true. Shout out to the Remix Beatbox server and everything. I hope those videos can keep coming out because there was some good music in there.
Yeah. Especially my semis against TMY, because I think that was my best performance of the.
That was a really good battle.
Day,
yeah. I will keep pestering Remix about putting those videos out because it is. It's obviously like it's a lot, like you have to prioritize like what you're doing and what you're editing and stuff. But I hope that those can keep coming out because they were a pretty fun time. Even for like a smaller kind of battle. Yeah. So chat, what's going on? We have a whole 8 people in here. It's awesome to see it. What's next?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest.
I might go busk in New Haven. That might be what's next for me. Is I might be heading out to the city near where I live. I'll go do some street performing. That could be pretty fun.
Yeah. So maybe you can hand here. I mean, that's been an hour also.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see like a lot of love in the chat for everyone. Thank you all so much for like bringing the good energy and everything. Yeah, keep an eye out for some new music from both myself and from Remy. Love to see it, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Especially for the 5v5. I'm getting new stuff, so yeah. There's a lot of new music on the way, so keep an eye out, guys. We'll end it there. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see y'all later.